So today we're here to talk about relatives that are called the glue and why they're toxic. Okay. I talked about some things that are similar, but the glue is so much worse. Let's get into why the glue is toxic and a big problem. The glue is very toxic and a very big problem because relatives that are known as the glue are basically the people who aid in abuse. They may not directly aid in it, but them telling you where you need to fix things and who needs to deal with who, that's where the problem comes in. So, for example, if a girl named Shakira has a father who neglected her, walked in and out of her pick-me mother's life, and I'm sorry, you're a pick-me. It doesn't matter if you divorced your husband or are separated. If your husband walked in and out of your children's life and you still force a relationship on them that your kids don't want because your kids recognize this motherfucker neglected them, who the fuck are you? You're forcing your kids and telling them to not speak ill of their father and don't speak ill of my father, bitch. Are you dumb? Do you know, you do realize the man cheated on you and dog walked you, right? So glue can be two types of toxic. Either they could be that abusive parent, that other narcissistic parent, or they can be a slight narcissistic pick-me or narc tendency pick-me. Narc tendencies means you have tendencies and behaviors, but not fully narc. You know, narcissist, you're a full narcissist. It just depends if you're lower level, mid-ranged, or malignant stage, which is the worst. Mid-range can be dangerous too here and there, but malignant is the worst, and they're more likely to hurt and harm somebody. So, why is the glue a problem? I'm going to give you guys a personal example. There's a relative who is very much a glue relative on one of the sides of my families. They know damn well my cousins went trying to contact some of my clients for my businesses. So I do still do my clothing store. I do still sell stuff here and there. Or not even a clothing store anymore. I'm going to probably reopen probably next year. But I've been doing private styling here and there where I'll rent a wig out. I'll rent out certain outfits and stuff. I'll design certain stuff here and there. I'm not too big on the designing, but I definitely do the clothing rentals. Sorry. I also have a catering company. I've had my catering company since 2014. These bitches went contacting people that I work with. I have 2 different business pages. There were people who gave me thank yous, people who did reviews of my clothing company and stuff. And these people went and contacted the people who I worked with. And the glue, I really want to say this relative's name so bad, but I already get one side of the family who can't stand me because I talk about narcissism and I call out bullshit when I see it. So I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let it be. I'm not gonna lie and tell you I'm flowers and candy and that I like these people. I'm not. But this person who would be an example of the glue, they were, oh, let that go. That was years ago. Now, let me tell you something when it happens to people who are like the glue in general. Let somebody do the wrong thing to them. Now, I forgive people, but it happens to them. They're done with that person for life. That just goes to show people who are toxic and narcissistic, they know what they're doing to you. They expect everyone to be easygoing and forgive them, but you have to be buddy and best friends. No. So let's really get into it. How to identify glue and confront them. Well, we already talked about signs of how to identify them. You know, these are these people who know that your father was neglectful, dismissive, taking care of everybody else's kids and claiming everyone else's kids, even complimenting everyone else's kids and their accomplishments while shitting on yours and being absent or, not much presence in your life at all. Very little presence, if any. So how the other ways to identify the glue and how to deal with them. Number one, confront them. And if they're combative, rule number one, the glue is always going to identify you as a person who needs to mind your own business when they need to mind theirs. There's no way a grown adult person of any age should be calling you and being a carrier pigeon, telling you that this relative that you know and you've told them you want boundaries with, you want no contact with. They should not be calling you like a carrier pigeon, trying to get you to break your boundaries and so associate with this person that you no longer want to associate with. How does the glue react? This is when you call them out. Well, they get defensive and they deflect. Again, you need to mind your business. Something is wrong with you. You need to shut up. This doesn't concern you. It doesn't matter if it doesn't concern you. For the next person's sake, call this person out. Of course, the glue is going to act childish. Any narcissist will become childish, or any person with narcissistic tendencies will become childish, deflect, have a whole fit like a 5-year-old because you are telling them they need to stop. Secondly, cut this person off. That's the glue, if you can. If you don't live with them, you don't have to be around them. Cut them off because it doesn't matter. If somebody says, no, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to be bothered with this person, it doesn't matter that you don't hold grudges, because I promise you, people who are the glue, a classic thing they will say is, oh, I don't hold grudges, and God this and God that. It doesn't mean that a person's holding a grudge because they're keeping a boundary. It means I'm mentally and spiritually protecting myself. If you notice, the Bible said, again, bad association spoils useful habits. Now, I'm not trying to act holier than thou because I'm not. I'm not in a sin, I'm no angel. But what I'm saying is, these people use the Bible and weaponize the Bible, but the Bible says okay to set boundaries and stay away from certain people. Doesn't wickedness count for people who do things to intentionally hurt you, ignore the fact that this is harmful or something you don't want to do and you don't feel is right? This is, they're not telling you to do something that's spiritual. They're not telling you to do something that's God's will. They're telling you to do something that spiritually violates what you want. They're using God as a weapon towards you, and this type will quickly do that. So if the Bible says bad association spoils useful habits, can't family do that too? Isn't that evil and demonic when a relative can ignore you, have you as a child, neglect you, mistreat you? Isn't that demonic behavior? Last time I checked, God willed for children to be raised in a family unit, but okay. Again, I'm not trying to be a Bible thumper, but I'm just breaking the logic of toxic people, because these type of people use God all the time. If you really love God, you'd respect that person's boundaries. You'd pray. If you really wanted that reconnection so bad, you would pray for it to be fixed. Keep yourself in the distance and out in between a Sam and Pete situation, and not make it Sam, Pam, and Pete. Pray for Sam and Pete to settle it without you involving yourself in it directly. The glue is very good for involving themselves and making themselves look like a victim when you call them out. Cut the glue off too. Stay away from it. I don't care if it's your grandma, auntie, uncle, cousin. Stay away from them. They're never going to admit that they're wrong and involving themselves in some things that they should. You get what I'm saying? That they should not be involving themselves in. Especially if they're your own parent. If they're a pick-me type, they're going to, oh, you should deal with your dad. Let that kid make their decision. If they don't want to be bothered, leave them alone. The kid sees something that they didn't like and how they were treated. Let that child decide. Leave other relatives that want to stay away from aunties, uncles, and cousins alone, that want to be left alone.